Welcome to James Miller Lifeology, where you'll learn to simplify and transform your life. My name is James Miller. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and a composer. In today's episode, I wanted to speak with you about something we talked about way back in episode 5, which is about anger. Many of us can experience anger. We know what that feels like. We know how powerful it is. But what people don't often realize is anger is a primary emotion we feel. It's one of the 5 basic emotions. But it's also a secondary emotion that we experience. And so it's used in a secondary way to protect us. So let's say you're experiencing something that's very painful for you. You're really overwhelmed with it. And all of a sudden you feel all this anger. What I like to kind of use as an analogy is a castle wall. The higher the castle wall, the more it protects the things behind it. So let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, you're experiencing anger, let's say at a level 8. But what we have to be aware of is that on the other side of that wall, we're also experiencing other emotions that we don't want people to see. So we're also experiencing a level 8 perhaps of rejection, of sadness, of remorse, of guilt, many of these vulnerable emotions that we just don't want to either be aware of for ourselves or to show to other people. So it's really important for us to, when we're experiencing all this anger, to say, all right, am I really angry or am I experiencing all these other things? So anger can be used as a defensive component, and then it's a conduit to the offensive and how we respond to people. But when you're by yourself, or when perhaps even in the moment, when you're able to say, I'm using anger right now to protect myself from not wanting to feel all of those more vulnerable emotions. Rejection is a very powerful emotion that we often link with anger, but many times we don't realize that that's really what's happening. So in your time of reflection, if you find that you're just so angry and you're like, why am I so angry? Initially the anger makes sense, but if you continually hold on to that anger, then it doesn't necessarily make sense. It's because you're protecting yourself maybe from your own consciousness, your own awareness, or protecting yourself from not wanting to admit that this other person perhaps did something to you that either maybe you're indignant about or you can't believe that it happened, and so you don't want to necessarily admit that you feel rejected or you feel hurt or you feel whatever those more vulnerable feelings are. So the more insight you have, the more successful you will be in working through those more vulnerable emotions. And once you can work through those vulnerable emotions, you're not going to feel the anger towards that person. You're not going to necessarily experience that much anger about the whole situation overall. So if you're trying to fix the anger and trying to decrease the anger, while not working on these more vulnerable emotions, it's not necessarily going to work because that anger is going to continue to be at the forefront and you're not really dealing with the root or what's necessarily on the other side of that wall. And once you deal with the stuff over here, then all of this, your perception about the situation is going to change. Thank you so much for watching James Miller Lifeology. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so. Down here at the bottom right, there's a little subscribe button. Go ahead and click on that and make sure you get the daily updates. Also, I'm very excited because on Sunday, when my next radio show will broadcast, the topic will be about overcoming adversity. And my special guest will be Rosanna Ferrari, who's a prominent divorce attorney. And so we're going to hear her story of all that she's overcome and how she's become the amazing person that she is. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.